of multiple grace, an apostle of reformation, an insightful teacher.
Foundly called son of the prophet,
He is the senior pastor of
the glorious Liberty Church, GLC.
with the vision to solve important problems.
You are my battle axe and my weapons of war.
Husband to Pastor Gracious Osanaiye, and blessed with 3 children.
A great blessing to the Christendom.
It is not only the minister here that is the battle axe of God, but you are God's battle axe.
Loved by many, adored by all, our Father's friend, for another mind-blowing time in God's presence and the fire-eyed welcome. Let's make welcome.
Pastor Richard Osanaiye.
Welcome home. We love and celebrate you.
Let's start. It's a long reading, but let's keep reading it. Now it came to pass after this thing that God tested Abraham. How old was Abraham when God is testing? That's okay. He gave birth to Isaac how old? At what? 100. At this time, Isaac should be close to 1820. So add it to Abraham's age. When he 18 to 120 years old. And God called him at 75. God has appeared to him. God has blessed him. And at 120, God still a test him. You know the meaning of test? I'm not sure of you yet. Go and read from Genesis 12 to Genesis 22. He has defeated 8 countries put together. God has appeared to him and called him possessor of heaven and earth. And still, there's still something to test. You have been testing in every area, but there's one area I have not tested. You know you did well in biology because you studied it. But in maths, I need to test you too. Did you know Abraham did not need this test to receive Isaac? What God is about to ask for, I don't need it to give you a child. But there's a dimension you are going. You know what I will now ask for? I will now ask for what was a miracle to you. When you receive it, you share the testimony for 1 year. And you say it can only be God. God said, okay, give me. God tested Abraham and said to him, he said, here I am. Verse 2. Then he said, take now your son. Okay, yes sir. I'm going. He's going to pick Ishmael. Ishmael is not what I'm asking for. I know you can give Ishmael. Your only son, sir, Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains, in which I will tell you. Verse 3. Abraham rose up early in the morning. God spoke to him at night. He rose up early in the morning. Maybe it's even a dream. You should have thought it's a devil's dream. He rose up early in the morning, sat to this donkey, to 2 of his young men with him, Isaac his son, and split the wood for the burnt offering, and arose and went to the place of which God had told him. See, God will be telling some of us to do sacrifice today. You do it immediately. You know the problem? And there is a God. God is so amazing. You know what? So Abraham rose early. Next verse. Next verse. Verse 4. See how God is so funny. The test Abraham went through. May God not let me pass through it. You know, if he say, carry him now, take him to backyard, kill it. You can say, let me just do it and forget about it. Sir, Day one, Abraham was still on the journey. So he had the opportunity to change his mind. Day two, oh God, what kind of God is this? The devil will be playing with his mind. It's not God. You are mad to want to serve a God like this. You are stupid. You are this. Day two. In the night, day two. Day three. Then Abraham on the third day lifted his eyes and saw the place afar off. At his age, he still had to start climbing mountain. Tired. He has trekked for 3 days non-stop. Now how to climb mountain again. Just because he wants to go and sow a seed of his own son. Verse 5. And Abraham said to his young men, stay here. You don't discuss your sacrifice. Stay here. I and the son will go yonder. Sacrifice is a yonder place. You don't return to the low level. I will go yonder and worship. Do you know what they call sacrifice? Worship. Worship. Any worship we worship without a seed is not a worship. Go worship. And we will come back to you. Maybe he was talking faith, or you just want to encourage those boys. We don't know. Next verse. So Abraham took the wood to the burnt offering, laid it on Isaac his son, and he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and the two of them went together. Verse 7. But Isaac spoke to Abraham his father and said, my dad. He said, here am I, my son. He said, look, the fire, the wood, but where is the lamb for burnt offering? He didn't know. His father wanted to kill him. And he said, my son, don't worry, God will provide for himself the lamb for a burnt offering. So the two of them went on together. Verse 9. Then they came to the place on which God had told him. And Abraham built altar. Isaac was still watching. Daddy, where is the sacrifice? He said, don't worry. And Abraham built an altar there. Placed the wood in order. And said, Isaac, I'm very sorry. I've been talking to you about a God. And it's a God that gave it to me. He's asking that I should give you back to him. Oh, Dad, that your God? It's okay. Pastor, how do you know? The Bible says God knew that Abraham can command his household. Imagine Abraham has not raised Isaac. It will show that day. Isaac would have pushed his father and run away. But God knew parenting is key. What did he tell Isaac that make him submit? Isaac would have been almost 20. He's stronger than his father. So he said, Daddy. So he bound him. And laid him on the altar. So the boy lay down. Verse 10. And Abraham stretched out his hand and took the knife to slay him. Verse 11. But the angel of the Lord called him from heaven. Abraham, Abraham! Exclamation mark. It was a shout to stop the process. Abraham, Abraham, leave me, let me kill you. That's what you want. No, no, no. Watch the next thing he said. He said, here I am. You wanted the sacrifice. Let me give you. Verse 12. And he said, don't lay your hand on the lad or do anything to him. For now I know. Sir, at 120 you are just knowing. My response to your instruction now is what makes you know. You don't know when I pay tithe. It's not enough knowing. You don't know when I gave you seed in my house and honor you as my man of God and I receive a child. It's not enough knowing. I named you Isaac. When you gave birth to Ishmael and I asked for Ishmael, you will have readily given him. No, I don't want it. Sir, some temptations are still waiting for you in future to test your heart of loyalty to the Lord. Now I know that you fear God, since you have not waited your son, your only son, from me. Verse 13, the next thing, then Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and there behind him he saw a ram. Because the man is used to giving, there must be a sacrifice on this altar. My pastor has always described for us that where did that ram come from? From the time that Abraham left his house, the ram was following him. But do you know where's not where I'm going? There's one tiny thing I would have loved to show you there. Keep going. Instead of his son. And Abraham called the name of that place, the Lord will provide. As it is said to this day, in the mountain of the Lord. What is said provided in the KJV is the perfect translation. It shall be seen. Because after you give sacrifice, God opens your eyes to what is provided. Eyes has not seen, ears has not heard. It has not come to the heart of man. It is that God has provided for those that love him. But it takes sacrifice for your eyes to be open to see what is provided. Did you catch it? Let's go. Verse 15. Then the angel of the Lord called to Abraham a second time out of heaven and said to him, verse 16, my Lord, I sworn by myself, because you have done this thing and have not withheld your son, your only son. In blessing I will bless you, and in multiplying I will multiply your descendants as the stars of the heaven, and the sand of which is on the seashore, and your descendants shall possess the gates of their enemies. He just activated what he was called to do at chapter 12. It was only a promise at chapter 12. It's been activated in chapter 22. By sacrifice. Verse 18. I'm going somewhere. In your seed, all the nations of the earth shall be blessed, because you have obeyed my voice. Verse 19. So Abraham returned to the young men. They rose, went to Beersheba, and Abraham dwelt at Beersheba. Next verse. Now it came to pass after these things. Watch something. Basta. It came to pass after this thing that they told Abraham, saying, indeed, watch, Micah has already born children to your brother Nahor. 21. Keep going. Ush is firstborn. Bush is brother. Kemuel the father of Aaron. Verse 22. Chesed, Asa, Pishda, Chisla, and Bethuel. 23. And Bethuel begat Rebekah. Did you know where I'm going? Even the sacrifice provided wife for Isaac. That sacrifice opened the eye of Abraham. The reward of Isaac is that I'm going to give him a woman that will perpetuate the future and bring this prophecy to pass. It was not only Abraham. Even the blessing that Abraham received, he actually received for Isaac, still activated. See, that is why if you jump to chapter 24, there's about few things. Chapter 22, Rebecca, the mother died. The next one we saw, go get a wife for my son. Did you know they got a wife for Isaac? Go and check it. You have never seen a marriage like that in your life. Family, we have not started yet. We have sown seed. We've given tithes. We've sown to our man of God. But we are coming to the realm of sacrifice. At this place, that is when your eyes open. At this place, that's when you receive a sworn blessing. There is nothing you can alter on a platform of sacrifice. David stopped plague by sacrifice. I don't have time. I will have showed you. It was God that was destroying Judah. And the same God told David, the only way you can stop this is by offering me sacrifice. Go and do it on the threshing floor of Araunah the Jebusite. And Araunah wanted to give it to David without a cost. It will have defeated the process. David said, I can't give to my God what will not cost me something. Bible says, as the altar was raised, God stayed his hand. God stayed his hand. Sacrifice make God to change his mind. You remember that king? The king of Syria that sacrificed his son because he was losing battle to the Israelites. The battle that God was the one at the front line. Sacrifice make God turn back. Sacrifice will make God turn any day.